Hello guys, welcome to this session on trying and understanding what really matters in your profile. Now, at this point of time, 7+ years of work experience, do you really think, how getting into a B school really makes sense at this point of time? Now let's quickly understand why profile is very, very important, especially at this point of time when applying to B schools for an MBA program. Let's get started guys. Now, whenever I explain concepts to my students, I always take the case of case studies because let's remember one thing. Once you get into a B school, case studies are all your life, right? So let's very quickly run through a case study in order to understand this concept. Now, if you look at your screen, right, there are two profiles who are sitting right before you. You can look at right on your screen. Profile 1 came from an engineering college, 7.3 CGPA, a pretty decent GMAT score 690, has a good solid 86 months of work experience, easily 10+ years of work experience, right? Worked in a Fortune 500 MNC as a technical expert, applied for EMBA in ISB, Yale and IMA program. Whereas the second guy had a decent 8.6 CGPA and actually higher than the first guy, higher GMAT score, 92 months of very solid work experience, you can see that there, second largest IT company in India, senior technical officer, same set of programs. Now, whenever I ask my students, right, I take thousands of webinars, hundreds of students come in my webinar. Of the 100 students, 80% of the students naturally pick up or tend to pick up option number 2, profile 2. Reason is very simple, higher GMAT score, higher work experience, higher CGPA, and therefore, yeah, this guy makes a lot of sense. But is it always the case? Definitely not. Let's run through this case. Now let's very quickly understand how do you build a profile or what is it we're going to assess in this particular case. So we will understand why certain profiles are successful to a B school. I mean, beyond a point of stage, right, 7+ years of work experience, why only certain people are accepted. How does a B school really evaluate your profile and what are the important parameters in your profile? And most importantly, we'll understand how does an ideal profile look like, and the best part is we will understand how is it you guys can bridge the gap between what you have currently and what your school expects in terms of your profile. Let's very quickly run through it. Let's get started guys. Now, going back to this particular case, right, I have shown you some information, CGPA, work experience, which are very common information, but a lot of things which I did not tell you. For example, let's look at this guy. He had an international exposure, right? He has attended a particular summer school program. He's presented a white paper there. White paper typically means it's a sort of a research paper kind of thing. And most importantly, if you look at it right, he has an leadership experience, right? He's a part of the Bangalore's political action committee. Very, very important thing, right? And he has an access to leadership. So that is very important, guys. Yes, your normal activity is what you do in your 7 years of work experience. You might be the best performer, no doubt about that. But there is certain extra notch or extra element that needs to be added. Whereas when you look at profile B, right, as per the case, there are none of these things he has done. The maximum extracurricular activity he's done it at an inter-school competition, which means right from college and all his years of work experience, our hero has never focused anything on extracurricular activities. Let's remember one thing, guys. Yes, your GMAT is important. Yes, your CGPA, your work experience, the quality of work experience, recommenders, everything is important. But what other extra activities you invest in your profile is very, very important when you apply for a B school. So let's quickly understand what is this profile all about, or what is it I need to do, etc., etc. Let's go on, guys. Now, when you look at this particular case study, right, let me quickly analyze why is it profile 1 was successful and profile 2 was not successful. Profile 1, right, A, he has attended a summer school program, which is very, very clear, right? B, he has presented a white paper in an international conference when he went for all these things. And C, he did take up a leadership activity certification. And most importantly, he also had his company's award. Right, that is very, very important. Yes, he also had little bit activities towards the Bangalore Political Action Committee. Whereas, unfortunately, profile 2 failed to do all these extra elements which gave that extra notch for his admissions. So let's remember one thing, guys. The whole component of your profile matters, not just one element. Alright, so what's this profile? Let's dig deeper apart from this case and let's quickly understand what all you need to do. Okay, let's move on, guys. Alright, welcome to the session, guys, on trying and understanding B School's DNA. Now, in the previous video, we have clearly seen, right, when you apply to a B school, yes, apart from your GMAT and work experience, something called as your profile, what you do outside your company, college, etc. is very important. But let's say you have an excellent profile. Does it mean that you're going to make it to every B school or you're going to make it to your dream B school? Definitely not. Again, let's go back to the same old case study framework, right? Now, again, there are two interesting cases before me. I know by the time I show a second case study, a third case study, my students are very smart. They see whatever I've answered wrongly for the last time, let's deconsider that and consider something else and answer the other question. But that's not the case. So I know what you're expecting. What is your expectation is very clear. You've stopped looking at case studies or admission criteria only by looking at GMAT score and your work experience. You slowly started looking into profile. But this case is a little bit more peculiar. Let's understand this. Look at the first guy. You can see right on your screen, right? 8-pointer CGPA, 740 GMAT score, 90 months of work experience, AVP guy in a in a particular company, fourth largest banking sector, and MBA from INSEAD, Bhutan, HEC Paris. He's applied to that schools. Profile 2 naturally had little bit lower CGPA, a little bit lower GMAT score compared to other guy. Good solid 84 months of work experience. He's a general manager in an automotive sectors, very, managing 20 dealers, 10 vendors across the APAC region. That's an excellent work experience. MBA in a bunch of schools. Now, let's not go into the quiz who will get selected. Let's understand why is it one guy got selected and the other guy got rejected. Let's get started. Now, again, what we'll try understanding is that, we will understand why is that B school select only certain kind of students or certain kinds of profile into the B school. And we also understand why is that every B school has its own set of DNAs and how does it look like. So we'll pick up some examples of profiles, or let's say certain examples of school, and understand what the school exactly expects. And most importantly, you will understand one important thing, guys. See, most of you at this point of time, right, 7-8+ years of work experience, you would have kind of given up your hope on doing an MBA program. But that's always not the case, guys. Yes, there are wonderful programs. In fact, you asked me, right, I'm currently holding an 8 to 10+ years of work experience. But I've already done my MBA from Great Lakes. But I still not given up my option for my second MBA. I always wanted to do it in Ivy League school, right? So that's what we understand. There are certain B schools which are actually meant for you, who have people who have more than 7 to 8 years of work experience. And most importantly, what is that we're going to look into it? See, guys, B school selection process is very challenging, right? You will clearly understand if I clearly state all the challenges, why this is a all challenging process by yourself. Let's get into the case. Now, this is what I showed you, right? This guy has something. He's working in a company, he has a good work experience. Whereas the second guy had little bit extra points, extra brownie points. What is that was? He had little bit of international exposure. For example, he has maintained 20 dealers and 10 vendors across APAC regions. So that gave him the little bit extra brownie points. So the point is applying to the right set of schools matter. See, that's the point, guys. See, even though profile 1 is excellent with a good GMAT score, good work experience, unfortunately, he couldn't get a call from INSEAD. Reason is very simple. INSEAD is a school which makes it mandatory for its candidates to have an international exposure. You don't have it, however great GMAT score you have, 800 and 800, we don't care. Because it is very critical that you have an international exposure. But yes, he did manage to get into HEC Paris and Judge Business School. Right, whereas why profile 2 was successful? Though he had a relatively lesser GMAT score, yes, he did have an international exposure in his work experience. And most importantly guys, he had done all the relevant profile building activities in terms of what the college expected. Now, let's understand B school's DNA. Now that you know the case study, let's very quickly jump into the theory. Okay, now that you know, right, it started off with GMAT. GMAT is not the only thing, profile. Yes, guys, profile is not the only thing. Selecting the right set of schools to maximize your ROI. Now let's even understand, is even MBA the right option for you at this point of time? Now, that doesn't mean that I'm asking you to give up your management degree option. For example, you're trying to escalate. You want to do your management degree maybe for a change of domain or a shift of domain, or you're trying to grow in your own company, which is not happening inside a company. You're thinking that a degree could probably help you in that. So there could be 100 reasons, but MBA could not be the solution for all the reasons. So does it mean that I need to give up my options? Definitely not. There are some beautiful alternatives. In fact, I wouldn't like to call it as alternatives. These are much better primary options for you than even the MBA program. So what are these options? Let's very quickly understand. For example, let's take the same old case study approach, because whenever I talk about, we are in a B school environment, right? You guys are applying, you won't get into the B school. So it's such a nice feeling to study in a B school, guys. You always open up with a lot of cases. So trying to fit the same framework here. Two interesting profiles. Now, it's not going to be a silly quiz. I'm asking you to, infer one guy has done better than others, but let's understand why one guy got selected and the other guy got rejected. So, profile 1, 7.3 CGPA, as you can see on your screen, 690 GPA, go through the points very clearly, 121 months of solid work experience, excellent 10 years of work experience, Japan-based MNC company in a consumer electronic field, AVP level, excellent level, applied to Stanford, great school. Right? And of course, a great profile as well, good work experience. Second guy, 8.6 CGPA, 730 GMAT score, 90 months of extraordinary work experience, maybe a little bit lesser than the first guy. Indian MNC in pharma company. So this guy is from consumer-based company, electronics company. This guy is from pharma. Two very different industries. Same AVP level, same levels of designation, Stanford. Now, it's a little bit dicey, right? You might never know which kind of profile is accepted. So I'm not going to throw you in this quiz option, but let's understand. One thing is clear. One guy got selected, other guy got rejected. Let's see what happened. Now, in this quiz, we will try and understand one thing. What is that is, we will discuss why only certain kinds of profiles are getting selected to a school in a selected program. And most importantly, there is something called as a leadership programs. See guys, both of these guys are already associate vice president. Now, why do you think they require an MBA at this point of time? Maybe they're a little bit stuck towards the AVP position. Maybe, pushing them towards the VP or let's say the president level or even CXO levels is a little bit challenging. And therefore, they feel that this MBA is going to add value or act as a catalyst in that particular thing. So, we'll understand that particular aspect. And most importantly, we'll understand what are the different programs for you. And we'll also look into why these insights are very, very helpful for you. Let's very quickly run through it, guys. Now, first of all, these are all the basic common elements that I showed you, right? Now, what is that I did not show you was Profile 1 applied for a program called as MSX program in Stanford, whereas Profile 2 applied for a program called as regular MBA from Stanford. Now, let's always understand, guys. Yes, the brand is important, but the program is much more important for you at this point of time. Now, what's so special about this MSX program? I'll tell you. See, MSX program is called as a leadership program. Now, what do you mean by leadership program is, see, these guys are already AVP levels. They're already managing team. They're already doing what an MBA guy would do inside his company. In fact, he has his people who are reporting to him who have done their MBA program. Then why this guy has to apply for MBA program? Doesn't make any sense. Whereas MSX program is called as a leadership program. Now, what do you mean by leadership program is that the classical example I tell my students, right? You are kind of stuck in a senior leadership position. Functional head, senior managers, or assistant vice president, etc., etc. You're kind of struggling to move to a vice president, president, chief marketing officer, chief sales officer, chief operations officer. You're kind of stuck in that level of growth, and that's when your MSX program or your leadership program is really going to help you. Okay. Now, it is in fact much better than even an MBA program, considering your work experience. Let's remember that point. Okay. Maybe if you might have a 10-year work experience, but you might be working in a very low level. This program doesn't make sense. Even MBA program doesn't make sense for that matter. So that is very, very important, guys. Applying to the relevant kind of programs is very, very important. Now, let's quickly understand why this leadership program is more advantageous for you. Why a regular MBA program, especially if you're in a CXO level, is not critical for you. For example, point number one, it's a shorter duration program. See, even you take a regular MBA for a 7+ years of working experience, it's a 1-year full-time program. Whereas this will be a 15-month, but not a full-time program. So what happens is that at certain trimesters that you will spend inside the campus, rest of the campus you'll either be working out or doing your, let's say, exchange program in some of the universities or even the organizations for that matter. And most importantly, it is an accelerated master's program for experienced leaders because it doesn't expect you to, full-time be inside the university for 1 year. And most importantly, it is suitable for people who are in the upper mid-level management or even the higher grade. And most importantly, guys, let's remember one thing. There is a reason why you're kind of stuck in your, AVP level or in that level of senior manager level, head of function level. The reason is that you don't have an access to a wider alumni network. And this alumni network, which you're going to get out of your alma mater, going to add a lot of value in your company. Okay, it really makes a lot of sense, guys. Maybe that is one of the major reasons these people are stuck at this point of time, and this is really going to help you. Now, how is it through? Maybe through end of this session, we'll have a lot of interesting case studies. We will try and understanding the same. For example, let's take the same Stanford MSX program. What I really love about this program is that these are meant for people who have bare minimum 8 years of working experience, who are already into the senior mentorship load, and most importantly, it's a 1-year program. And the biggest advantage is that you still get an alma mater of Stanford. All their alumni networks are still accessible. And most importantly, guys, let's remember one thing. More than 75% of the program, that's the subjects, the curriculums, exams, etc., are customizable as per your choice. So which means you might be coming from any industry, pharma, banking, electronics, edtech, etc. Yes, the college does have certain specializations that are related to that. That is very, very important. For example, let's take MIT. MIT has Sloan's Fellow program, right? Typically designed for people who have more than 10 years of work experience. It is meant for them. So it's a 12-month program. So it is meant for, as you could read it there, right? It's meant for high potential leaders, etc. It's possible to apply for both MIT and Sloan and their MBA programs, right? It has a lot of advantages by itself. Similarly, India, ISB has something called as an ISB PGP Max. Now, ISB PGP Max is like a 2-level of programs. There is 1-level program which does not offer placements. You're already into a senior level. The company expects you to have this kind of exposure, and the company is more than happy to promote you. So there are a lot of interesting such programs. What I've given you is just the tip of iceberg, probably 1-2% of what this program actually expects. For many such programs, let's follow the instructions below.